Means today we will be covering two problems. So first problem, what we will be discussing is like we have been given an array. Let's call that array as nums, and we have to find the contiguous subarray which contain at least one number. Means this given subarrays contain at least one number which has the largest sum and return its sum. So what is given is, let's talk about this input 1 to 2 minus 2 1 5. So this will be the input array which will be given, and if we will see, we have to return it. We have to find the sum for this array in such a way that we will be able to return the maximum sum out of it. So if you will take this example, let's say we have taken 1, then taken 2, so the sum will become 3. If we incorporate minus 2 also, then the sum will become 1 again. Let's modify this. Sum will become 1 again, and if we now the maximum sum up to here was 3. If we add this entry also, like in this array, if we add this entry, my maximum sum value will turned out to be 1 again. If I will continue adding the value 1 again, then the maximum sum is still 2, because previously it was 1. Now I had added one more and it become 2. So again, like if I will add minus 5 in 2, it will again become minus 3. So we can see that maximum sum which can be generated from a sub array of this array is 3. So we have to return this output as 3. Let's see what I'm saying here is, if we have an array with 1 2 minus 1 minus 2 1 and minus 5. So if we take the sub array of only 0th index and 1 index, we will be able to return the maximum sum. Otherwise, if we take any other sub array, that sub array sum will not exceed 3. So our result should return 3 as output. Hope
Abhishek,
this.
one
Yeah.
request. Sorry to interrupt. Can
Mhm.
you basically put this into a mode so that it would be a little bit easier to see the content?
Okay. Now it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, if you have still doubt on the question statement, we can means first we need to understand what the question is, then we will go further.
It's clear, Abhishek.
Okay, okay, good. So reading this statement, reading the questions, what all questions come into your mind, means what all question you will be going to ask to the interviewer. So let's discuss those questions and then we will go with the solution. So what all things which comes into your mind, if anybody want to pitch in, they can, yeah, step in.
Yeah, Abhishek, is it sorted array? No, right?
Sorry.
Is it sorted array? The array should be sorted or it kind of randomized array?
Yeah, so one of the question we can be asking is the array is sorted. Yes, so array is not sorted. Yes, so we should clarify this, that array is sorted or not. Okay, any other question?
No, Abhishek.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, one question that we should be clarifying is that yes, that is the array is sorted. Another question could be, although like from the given statement, it says that containing at least one number, But we should also get clarifies that if suppose interviewer has not or haven't said that array is empty or not, in that case we will be asking that question also. Because if suppose array is empty, we have to again ask what will be the maximum sum I'm going to return. In that case, is that I'm going to return integer dot min value or 0? So that question also we can ask. Okay, so considering we had understood the question, let's discuss a naive solution first. Then we will move to better solutions. So the first and foremost solution which comes immediately to my mind is that because I have to find the subarray, so I could start from one index and keep on reading the array till I find a sum which is maximum, so that I can be able to maximize the sum, and I will keep a variable to store the maximum sum till now what I have found. So if we will see the implementation, it's very simple that we have kept max sum is equal to num0. This solution considered that at least one element is present in the array. That on that basis we are going to derive this solution. So what we have did is here we have kept a variable maxsum where we are storing that initial num0 value into it, and we are iterating on array. So let's move to this. I had kept this solution here, and then I had created a kind of flow diagram where we can see what is happening. So if we will see that Windows sum kahan se aaya? Okay, I think there is some misspelling, but anyway, I is the starting position here. It is 0 position, and if we have window sum which is num0, window sum at this point will be 1. So this is pointing to 1. Current sum, इसको गड़बड़ किया मैंने. Windows current sum. I think I had while writing this, I made this window sum and current sum. There is no current sum I have used. So consider this, there is no current sum. Wherever current sum is there, we will be considering it as a window sum basically in this implementation. So window sum is equal to 1 because the 0 index position value is 1. So window sum is equal to 1 at this point. Max sum, because I had stored it as in 0 position. So that will be also become 1. Now I will, because I had written 2 for loop. One will be अरे यार उल्टा पुल्टा कर दिया मैंने. एक मिनट भाई. Just a minute, guys. Okay. Yeah, so there is some while creating PPT I had messed up there. So let's see what we are doing here only. So this is like our sub array unoptimized solution. So I had you guys are able to see right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So basically I had
Please-
taken one
Please zoom font little bit.
Okay.
So you just go into the preferences and make as a presentation font.
Type command plus command plus command. increase the font.
You can select all and plus plus. Window plus plus. Yes. Yes. Now visible.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so here we have written max subarray unoptimized solution, means this is not best solution we can think of, but yeah, we had used two for loop. One with start index is basically we are iterating from 0 to last position of the array, and index will be starting from we are initializing from start index till the end. Now here we are calculating the current sum. So at every iteration where like we are initialized means started our indexing, we are setting the current sum as 0, and this end index will start from the start index until till the last position where we visit to the array. So this current sum will be keep on adding, and we will be checking that is the current sum what we had calculated now, is it greater than the max sum. If it is so, we are kind of updating the max sum. And here also I had kept one means optimization that if current sum it's become less than 0, I'm kind of breaking it, because there is no point if we keep on adding and if we get a number which is actually less than 0, it is going to decrement in the current processing, like in current sum or addition what we are doing, it is going to only decrement it rather than increment it. So there is no point in continuing that. So I just keep an I had written this statement also, so that we will be not going further in this for loop. So that way, like we are calculating a global maximum, and we are doing this from starting from each index position, we are doing that. Let me see if that PPT has that or not, but I think okay, let's ignore first this. Current sum, current sum, current sum, current sum, current sum. Okay. Okay, let's see this way. When we have index I is equal to 0, our current sum is 1 and max sum will be 1. Now in the next iteration, it will be means my int index will be moved to next position. It will then current sum will become 1 plus 2, and now since current sum is greater than the previous maximum what we have, I had updated maximum to 3. Again this int index will move to -2. Here if I will compute the value, like previously my current sum was 3, now if I will add -2, it will become current sum will become 1. Since it is still positive value, I didn't break out here. I will be continue doing this iteration. Again, like int index will be moved further. Now current sum will become current sum previously was 1, and once I added 1 to it, it become 2 still, but it is not greater than 3. So I hadn't updated max sum here. Going further, if we will see that int index become -5, reach to -5, and if we compute the current sum again, then it will become -3. Which is again not greater than maximum. So for this particular iteration, we had got a maximum value which is 3. Now my start index will now move. If I will see this code, start index will move to from 0 to 1 position. So now my start index moved here, and int index is again pointing to start index. Maximum till now I had computed is 3. Current sum is now 2. So this will be the initial position for this iteration. Again this int index moved to this position. So -2 and 2 will be added, so current sum becomes 0, and since this is not greater than 3, I am not updating max sum. This will continue like end index reached to here, and since current sum was previously 0, I had added 1, so current sum become 1, and since it is again not greater than 3, I hadn't updated max sum. Again this end index reaches to this position, and it actually add up to -4, which is again not greater than max sum. So if under means until we have reached to this position, the max sum is still is 3. So if we continue this iteration in the same way, we will be able to get our final output in max sum. So this is naive or basic approach what we can follow to solve this problem. I hadn't means written all the I hadn't drawn all the following steps, but yeah, this could be this will give you idea how the max sum and current sum is being calculated. Guys, here you have any doubt, or it is being clear?
It's clear, Abhishek.
Yeah, so it doesn't gives only the sum, maximum sum starting from means 0 index. It is giving me maximum sum starting from any indexes. So that should be also clear, that we are not computing maximum only starting from 0 index, but basically we are computing this maximum from any index position, starting from any index position. Okay. So one more thing is means what we should also consider writing our code is, what if all the element in the array is negative? So what will be our output? So that thing also we should consider. So in case if all the element in our array are negative, so whichever is having the minimum value, that should be get returned. So while writing our code, we should also consider that. That I had already considered. Considering this, I am okay. Yeah, that I had already considered, because I am in this logic, I am starting from that particular index itself. From start index here, and end index is here also. Like here is my end index at the very first phase. So in the next phase, my start index will be here and end index will be here. So for that particular position to start, if even if this is negative number, it will be mine. If let's say all the number are negative, in that case, this will become my maximum value for that particular phase. Because anyway we are going to add that negative number, it is going to give me more negative value. So if we keep on going through each indexes, we will be getting the least negative number will be our maximum value. That will be anyway our output will be. I hope like this solution is clear to everyone. Okay. Yeah, let's move to yes. So this is one of the solution which actually okay. So let's discuss about also time complexity and space complexity. So time complexity in this case will be obviously O of n square, and space complexity will be space complexity will be constant O of 1. So obvious that we have to optimize our time complexity. So one of the solution is to use cadence or algorithm to okay. So what it says is that basically we have the way what we had did previously, the same in the same way we will be doing, but we will be computing a means we will be keep on computing based on window size. Like we will be computing our current sum based on window size and not on based on two for loops. So if we will see here, this solution, I had taken one current sum which is again initialized to number 0, num0, and max sum as num0. Here I am indexing, means I had taken index variable which is starting from 1, not from 0. So we will be keep on doing this from starting index 1 to count, and we will be computing our current sum. So how we are computing is that the current sum will be either this particular number itself, or it will be sum of these, means current sum plus num index. So how it okay, yeah, so current sum will be max of max of num index and comma current sum plus num index. What it does is basically for each index position, we are computing is the current sum what we are going to compute is greater than, means is the current sum what we are going to compute is like is the particular index itself is if bigger than, let's say right now my current index is negative. In that case, okay, यहाँ देखते हैं यार पहले इसको. Okay, so let's discuss the example, then we will see how it works. Again, that current sum is equal to 1 and max sum is again equal to 1. Here, as per this implementation, current index is actually 1. So I had started this. This will be our initialization point. Index will be starting from here. And like what we had did is current sum is equal to max of num index. So max of num index itself is 2. And current sum what we have now, like current sum right now we have 1 plus num index will be 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So maximum of 2 and 3 will be assigned to current sum. So now my current sum become 3 in this particular case. As soon as I have reached to this index position 1, my current sum become 3, which is again greater than my max sum, because max sum is only 1 at this point. So max sum has become 3 now. I assign max sum again to 3. Continuing further, like we had moved our index to this position. Now I again computed current sum, which is max of -2, and like current sum, which is right now 3 plus -2. So 3 minus 2 will be 1, and maximum of these two value will be -2 and 1 maximum will be 1. So maximum is not going to get updated. It will remain 3 itself, but my current sum has become 1 now. Now my index moved to 1. In that case, this position like 1 comma whatever the the current sum we have previously to this current index value will be add up, and we will see that current sum will be like 1 plus 1 become 2, and this will be assigned to current sum. So my current sum become 2, but is still the max sum is still greater than the current sum, so it will not get changed. Now I had reached to the this position, and finally, like if we see here, -5 comma means because index value at this position has -5, and like current sum plus -5 will give me -3, which is again lesser than the maximum. So maximum is not going to get updated, and I will be returning this maximum as my output. So this is the cadence algorithm which do this. Using this approach, we are now able to achieve, we are now able to reduce our time complexity. Now the time complexity is O of n, and space complexity is obviously O of 1. this solution also means this solution also take cares of if all the numbers are negative. If all the numbers in this array are negative, since we are doing this since we are computing max based on the current index and the sum what we have with previously computed current sum and the num what we have now. So in that case, it will be like max sum will be current sum will become itself that particular index value itself. So if suppose we have a scenario where all the numbers are negative, so first current sum will become, let's say, if I will just so in that case also current sum will become -1 and max sum will become -1 because we are checking the maximum from current sum to max sum. So if we reach here, since current sum is -1 and we have added -2 which become -3, so -2 will become my current sum, and maximum, because maximum is initially will be -1 itself, so -2 is not greater than -1, so it will remain -1 itself. So that way we will able to kind of we will be able to handle case where all the numbers in this array are negative. We will be even able to give whichever the element which has least negative value, we will be able to return as a output. Okay, is this make sense, or it is being not clear?
Abhishek, so that particular current sum you are getting, right? So why exactly we are taking the sum here? So that's one not quite clear.
Okay, Abhishek, can I add one thing to your solution?
Yeah,
I need
sure,
to share
sure.
my screen. I will share my screen and then I will try to add something to this solution also.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if you can see my screen, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to maintain two variables. One is basically called current subarray and another is called as maximum subarray, because we need to find the maximum subarray sum, right? So at any point of time, if I find any largest subarray whose sum is more than any other subarray in this array, possible array, then we will return that value. So for example, at the initial point of time, I initialize my current subarray with -2, maximum subarray as -2, because initially I took the first element of an array as both the variable for both the variables. Now we will move to the next step, basically, where basically we will see what will happen. Now we will move to another pointer 1. Now we will see whether the previous sum was bigger than the current one. If it is, then we will basically keep the previous one plus we will add the new one also. But if it is not greater than, like -2 plus 1, which is equal to -1. If it is greater than 1, no. So it means we need to basically change the current subarray value as well as the maximum subarray value both. Similarly, if we move next again, then we will check, okay, 1 plus -3, which is equal to -2. So current subarray sum is -2, but the maximum subarray sum is 1 till now. Means if we have considered 3 elements in an array, what will be the possible maximum subarray? Only 1, the maximum value 1, right? Now we will try to consider the size of 4 and we will see what will happen. Now the maximum subarray size changed to 4, but the current subarray size is still 3. Similarly, if we move to 6th element, we consider 6th element as a solution set. We will check what will be the current subarray sum, 5. What will be the possible maximum subarray sum? Is still 5. Now we will move to next element again. We will see both the current subarray and maximum subarray sum increases because these 4 elements are the solution set right now. Now we will move to the next element. Now the current subarray sum reduces to 1. So that could not be my solution set. So till now, what will be my maximum solution? is 6 only. We try to cover next one also. Then the current subarray sum is 5, which is less than the maximum subarray. So in this case, this is the solution set for me. The maximum subarray sum, which is 6. So we keep two variables. One is for current subarray and one is for maximum subarray. So we are storing, if we find any largest maximum subarray from the previous one, we will store and update that, and we will try to calculate the current subarray sum again and again until the loop completes. So that's the logic. Abhishek tried to explain the same thing. Hope it helps. Abhishek, over to you.
Okay. Thanks, Nishant. Okay. Yeah, so this is one of the solution which Nishant has explained, and this is actually called cadence solution. If you guys have still doubt, you can ask. Nishant and me will help you to understand.
Guys, anybody is having any doubt around this solution? No? Okay, Abhishek, you can continue.
Here now,
Yes, Virendra.
it's clear, Nishan.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so let's move to another problem, which is I will read the statement. Given a read-only array, so this is a very important line, that given a read-only array of n plus 1 integer between 1 and n, find one number that repeats in linear time using less than O of n space and traversing the stream sequentially O of 1 time. So basically it has been given that input array has been given, and it is only read-only array, so we cannot modify this particular array while designing our solution. Also, like it has been said that this array has number from 1 to n, and like its size will be n plus 1. So we have to find a solution for this. We have to find one number which is actually repeating, which actually repeats, and the constants are like we cannot use more than means the linear. We have to means come up with a solution which is having less than O of n space complexity and O of n time complexity. Here written that stream sequentially O1 time, means each element will be maximum read O1 times. So basically that add up to O of n solution. So if you guys have any doubt on the problem statement, we can discuss on this. Okay, so let's remove the constant that
Abhishek.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the meaning of repeats in linear? So it's continuous. Repeats in
Find one number that repeats in linear time. Linear time means O of n time.
Okay.
O(n) time complexity.
Okay, got it.
Abhishek, only one number will be repeated, or multiple numbers can be?
Yeah. So this, yes, multiple number can be repeated. But we have to give one solution, like whatever the number which basically comes first, which we have identified as a repeated answer. So we will return that. So this is a good question to clarify that is there are multiple means occurrence of same number are there or not. So okay, so if suppose this constant about what time complexity and space complexity will be not there, so what will be the solutions you guys can think. We can discuss that, and then we will means come up with a better solution. So let's say if space complexity could be anything and time complexity could be anything, what will be our design, means what will be our first approach that we will be at least discussing to the interviewer?
Yeah, initial solution will be we can store all the numbers in HashMap, and we will check one by one number, iterate the loop 1 to n, 0 to n. If we find the same number two times, more than one times, then we can say it's our answer.
Yeah. Okay, so this is
Or
one.
another solution could be basically I can take two for loops and I will try to compare if the number basically like for example, if the I index number exists anywhere in the J loop, then it's a duplicate. Then I can return that number. So, but it will take order of n square time, and the space complexity will be order of 1 only.
Okay. Yeah.
वन मोर थिंग, जो हैश मैप वाला कॉन्सेप्ट है, अगर हम नॉर्मली वी कैन टेक वन एरे और फिर उसमें काउंट इंक्रीमेंट कर दें उस पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स का, लाइक इफ नंबर इज 1 देन हम ए ऑफ 1 को इंक्रीमेंट कर देंगे 1, अगर वो दोबारा आएगा देन उसका काउंट 2 हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल एकदम
बाद
सही है।
में
सिमिलर है, मतलब वो मतलब हैश मैप की जगह पे डिक्शनरी को एज ए हैश मैप हमने यूज कर लिया, वो भी सही है।
बट ऐसे क्या फायदा, मतलब क्या बेनिफिट होता है कि हैश मैप ले लेते हैं और एरे नहीं लेते?
क्योंकि आप अगर हैश मैप लेते हो तो so if we are taking hash map, it means that means till now the solution we will be able to devise, मतलब यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि अगर आप एरे लेते हो तो आपको सारे नंबर को स्टोर करना पड़ेगा एरे में, तभी आप बोल सकते हो कि किस पोजीशन पे मेरा मतलब वो एग्जिस्ट करता है कि नहीं करता है। जैसे एक तो आपको, क्योंकि साइज अगर 7 आ रहा है, आप रीड कर रहे हो, तो सारे नंबर के लिए आपको स्पेस तो बनाना पड़ेगा, राइट? तभी जाके उस जगह पे आप सेव करोगे। तो साइज आपने शुरू में ही बोल दिया होगा कि मेरा ठीक है, मतलब मैं एक एरे लूंगी जिसमें I will be putting all the number as -1, let's say, but you will be assigning the whole size for that particular array. But in case of dictionary, as you required as you required, you assign the memory to that, right? मतलब वो रन टाइम पे आप ऐड करते जाते हो उसमें एंट्री, तो वहां पे आपको शुरू में ही डिक्शनरी के लिए सारे स्पेसेस बना के रखने की जरूरत नहीं है।
ठीक है, जो उसमें रन टाइम में जितने नंबर ऐड होंगे बेस्ड ऑन दैट वो इंक्रीज करता रहेगा।
करेक्ट। तो बेसिकली डिक्शनरी का वो फायदा हो जाता है कि आपको मतलब सारा स्पेस स्टोर करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है। हो सकता है आपका सॉल्यूशन मिड में ही आपको मिल जाए और देयर विल बी मींस ऑन टर्म्स ऑफ स्पेस यू विल बी गेटिंग सम बेनिफिट।
ओके, ठीक है।
ठीक है, ये दोनों सॉल्यूशन वैलिड सॉल्यूशन है जिसमें हमारा स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी O of n है और टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी भी O of n है। One solution which Nishant has given has time complexity of O of n square and space complexity is constant. So there is a win over space complexity. One more solution we can think of is we can sort this array and then we will try to find out is that previous index what we have read so far is matching to the current index. That way we will be able to identify that repeated element. We will be able to identify that repeated element. So this will be also one of the solution which we can propose. So this solution has time complexity of O of n log n, and space complexity will be O of n. ठीक है?
क्लियर अभिषेक?
ओके, या ओपन की भी जरूरत नहीं है, हाँ रीड ओनली है तो जरूरत पड़ेगी। ओके, ठीक है, तो now we have talked about multiple solution. There is a constant which says that this array is only read only array. अगर ये if this constant was not there, that this array is not read only array, there are other solution also, like we can try for cyclic sort kind of thing, where we will be able to modify the index position based on means we will be modifying the position based on index value itself. That I haven't covered this considering the question statement, but in future maybe we will discuss that also. So one of the means approach which actually interviewer is expecting that you will be able to solve this problem in O of n time with constant space, because in the problem its statement itself has been written there. So to solve this, there is a solution called tortoise and hare solution. Basically, it is same approach we follow to detect a cycle in linked list. Like we set our tortoise to jump to one position, and our hare, like our rabbit, to two position. If you are running in a cycle, means if you are looping in a cycle, and if somebody is running two times faster than you, there is he or she should be going to touch you at some point of time. So this is assumption, and this is based on that this solution is. So first let's see how this okay. Okay, so we have taken this input as 2, 5, 7, 1, 8, 9, 3, 4, 7, and 6. So first we have to see that this has a cycle. So if we see that each element in this array is constant to 1 to n plus means 1 to n, and the size is n plus 1, which is 10. So if we see 2, if we go to the value at the 2, we see that it is 7. If we go at the value at 7, value at 7 is 4. If we go back to again value at 4 is 8. And if we go again value at 8, it is again 7. So this way there is a cycle is existing from 2 to 7, 7 to 4, and 4 to 8, and again 8 to 7. So if anybody is running in this cycle, if anybody is running in cycle, and one guy comes with a twice the speed of this runner, so he is going to touch at any particular position, not required that it will touch at the very first point where cycle is started, but at any point, like it could touch it at here or here. So I hope this picture is clear to you. Then only we can see the solution.
Yeah, Abhishek, it's clear.
Okay. Yeah, Janendra and all, like it is clear, right? So here we are based on like we had.
Abhishek, suppose there are all are distinct number, only one number is repeating, right?
Yeah, right.
So suppose first number whichever is repeating, first index is 0 and second one is the 9. So can this solution will apply?
First index is
0 and the second number, same repeating number, is index is 9.
So okay. So what you are saying is 0. This is 0 or
anything. Suppose we are starting from 1 to 11. Okay. So we have all distinct number 1 to 11, but 0 index and 9 index have similar values. So is this solution apply for that?
Yeah. Only
Yeah,
place where it,
Mhm.
only place where it doesn't apply if the number itself has 0 in it. Indexes could be any, like as we have written in the problem statement also. Yeah. So read only number n plus 1 integer between 1 and n. If this is written as 0 to n, and we had given n plus 2, so this solution won't apply it.
Okay.
Why that doesn't apply, we will also see, but if this part is clear to you, right?
Yeah, this part is clear.
Okay.
Okay, I'll check, Abhishek. Don't. I will check in code.
Okay. Anyway, we will be covering that part because we had taken number from 1 to 9. So only one number, which is 7, is being repeated here in this sample example. We will see that because total numbers are 10 and we had taken number 1 to 9 and 7 is repeated.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So apart from whatever approach we had discussed, we are going to see how we are going to solve this. So I had taken 2 pointers. One is slow pointer and another one is fast pointer. Slow will be at pointing to a of 0, not 0 but a of 0. Whatever the value at index 0, it is pointing to that, and fast pointer is pointing to a of 0 to that particular index. So if I will see pictorially, there will be one tortoise, which actually I can say it's slow, and there is a hare which is fast. So a of 0 is 2. So my slow is slow, like tortoise is pointing at second index, and fast pointer, which is my rabbit, is pointing to 2 to index 2 ka jo value hai, value at index 2, which is 7, so it is pointing to 7. So this is my initialization point. Now I will be running this loop. I will be checking that is my slow pointer and fast pointer are at same position or not. If they are at same position, it means that I had find out detected a cycle, and like I have to move to second phase. So my first phase will be to identify where actually this fast and slow pointer are meeting. So right now this slow and fast pointer are not meeting at each other. So we will do this looping part where we had checked that slow is not equal to fast. So again I had moved slow will be moved to a of slow. So if you'll see that a of slow is 7, so slow moved to 7, and fast is moved to a of fast of this a, means index value to that particular index to that is 2 times indexes has been processed. So if you'll see that right now it is at 7, so it moved to first 4, and then again if it moves to 4, the value at 4 is 8, so it moved to position 8. Now my slow is at 7 and fast is at 8. Again I will check that is my slow and fast is same. No, it's not same. Now again that since both are not same, so I will move my slow to a of slow, which is previously it was on 7, so it moved to 4th because 7 has the value as 4, so it moved to 4, and here was at 8, so it now moved to 7, and he moved to 7 first, so 7 has value 4, and again it has to move from a4, so 4 has 8. So now my hare and rabbit and tortoise both are at same position, at position this at 4. So is this clear, or like is there any doubt in this logic up to first page? How we are computing like how we are moving our slow and fast pointer till now? Is this clear, or I should again explain?
Clear है.
Okay. So basically we are, if we think in a linked list way, we are actually traversing 2 times for the rabbit part and 1 time for for tortoise. So we are moving our array indexes 1 time for rabbit and 2 times for hare. Now as soon as we have found the positions, like this while loop will break, I will remove this rabbit with another tortoise. So I will make this fast is equal to again point to 0. Now we will be incrementing fast pointer and slow pointer 1 position, so that and we will be checking if slow and fast will be equal to or not. The value at slow and fast is same or not. Okay. So now my slow was here. I had introduced new fast, which now move to this position. I will same way, like since slow and fast is not equal to are not same, so I will move slow to a of slow, which is 4 of 8. So slow will move to this position, and since fast is also moved to a of fast, which is here. Again that slow is at 2 and fast is at 8. So I will again check that slow is equal to fast. It doesn't match, so I will move this. Slow is not equal to fast. Yeah. So okay, so slow is not equal to fast, so I again move this slow to a of slow. So a of slow is 7. So 7th will be at 4, and this one is again moved to a of fast, which is again 7. So it will come to this, both will come to this position. Now I check that slow and fast is equal to my 7. So 7 is my basically my value which I have to return. Does it make sense, or it messed up? Hello?
Yeah, Abhishek, can you repeat the second while loop again? Got it.
Okay.
You need some clarity on the second while. Yeah.
Okay, so
the fast is at 0. So and after that?
Yeah, so fast is now moved to 0. Now since these two are not equal right now, means my slow is at 4 and my fast is at 0. I will check if my slow and fast are equal or not. Slow is pointing to 0, fast is pointing to 4. Okay. Then
okay,
I will move my slow to 1 step ahead, and similarly I will move my fast to 1 step ahead. So I will move this this one of slow will be moved to a of slow, which it moved to a of 8 position here, and since this will again move to a of 2, which is this position. Okay. Now, since 8 and 2 are not equal, I will be again checking that what is the slow and means slow and fast pointer is not equal to, is still not equal. So this will again move, slow will move to, this is my slow. So slow will move to A of slow, which is, this will move to 7th position, which is this position. And this one 2, this one will also be moved to which position? 7th position. So now slow and fast both are at same position. So my index which I am returning is slow. So slow will be returned. So 7 will be returned, which is actually a repeating element.
Okay, got it. So instead of just returning the element, we are returning the index here, right? So that's what I got confused.
Okay. Yeah. So these are the two problems which I wanted to discuss today. So if you guys have any doubt on this, you can, I will be sharing this PPT also. If you guys have any doubt, we can discuss on this. Okay guys, like I think we are done with this lesson.